So if you're at a point where you think it's time to apply for jobs, you're applying to, let's just say, tons of jobs, hundreds of jobs, you're not hearing anything at all, then more than likely, the employers are not seeing on your resume anything that gives them the confidence that you can do the job day one. Okay. And maybe it's true, but you haven't emphasized those things. And so you want to always put your strongest point, I call it your best bait, pull that at the top of your resume. For some of you, it's your educational background. You got the 4.0 from Carnegie Mellon. For some of you, it's the internship at Apple you had last semester or last summer. For some of you, you don't have access to that. You don't have access to those resources, but you built an amazing full stack project that's an e-commerce store or I don't know, some social media site for devs in your area, and it's fully deployed and accessible. Let's make a new definition for everybody, right? Personal projects. Let's define personal projects. Any personal project that is not fully deployed and accessible to a human being outside of your immediate circle is just play code. It's not a project anymore. So just don't even say I have a project unless you've put it out there, because no hiring manager on LinkedIn. Sean already said this. So I'm going to reemphasize it so we don't make this mistake anymore. No hiring manager on LinkedIn is going to go into your GitHub and go through your code. It will never happen ever. Okay. So say I have some play code I've been working on, and I'm going to deploy it to AWS free tier or GCP free tier. I'm going to throw it on DigitalOcean or HostMonster. I'm going to throw it some freaking where a person outside my immediate circle, somebody I might not see in person, they can access it with one click link. A one click. I don't care if it's on the App Store, Google Play Store, on your own site, somewhere accessible, live code in the wild. That's a personal project. And as Sean already said, you need between 3 and 5, unless you just go ham, right? You write the next Instagram, one project will get you in. And it's funny because some of us are taking advantage of the fact that many awesome tech companies are open sourcing some of the technologies they work with. What a fantastic way to get in. Here you are kicking and screaming and fighting, trying to get it in. You need to touch base with somebody. And there's companies who have open sourced much of their technology, and you can work with their engineers directly, just as a private citizen on the street who thinks that this technology is pretty cool or the problems they're working on are pretty neat. And over time, you contribute and you work on those issues, those open issues. You make your own pull requests, and you begin to know some of the people and build a relationship that maybe will allow you to ask for a referral 3 to 6 months down the road. Not guaranteed, but a whole bunch better than just throwing 100 applications in the air and saying, God, let somebody see my resume. So anyway, if you're not getting any callbacks that don't have any confidence you can do the job day one. If you are getting the callback, but you're not getting past the phone screen, you need to just go practice phone screens immediately. Find somebody, somewhere, to just work on your elevator pitch, your standard questions you will always get in the phone screen. Something's not coming across properly there. Maybe it's your energy. Maybe it's you don't smile on Zoom. Who knows what it is? But they're not seeing what they want to see to go to the next level. Because I always say the phone screen is basically just the asshole test. Pardon the language if that offends you. That's all I want to make sure. You're not just some complete, Martian weirdo asshole that's going to just disrupt their team and make them look bad for hiring you. So if you're not passing that, then there's some of those things coming out in your personality. It's okay. We all have some of that. Just go practice. Go practice with friends. Do a Google search. Top 10 most frequently asked questions in phone interviews. Print it out. Text it to a friend and say, hey, just ask me these questions and I'm going to answer it. And you record me with your iPhone and we're going to look at it together and review it. You can do that at Starbucks today. You'll have to pay for expensive service to get a friend who might not know anything about tech, but they say, why do you frown so much? You may not have known you frown. You have to practice these things. Okay? So now if you get past the getting callback, you get past the phone screen, the next place where I am astounded people are messing it is with the technical interview, because most companies of any size, you can do a minimal amount of research and find out the nature of their technical interviews. And if you're ready, great. If you're not ready, then prepare, right? If it's going to be DSA style, all the resources, like there's been 1,000 Twitter spaces about how to get ready for those. Just do the stuff. Don't do the interview without doing the stuff and then be dismayed that you didn't pass the interview. Like that doesn't make sense. And if you don't want to do that style, that's perfectly fine. Find a company that doesn't do that kind of interview. Last time I checked, there's a GitHub repo of companies that just do not do whiteboard interviews. Apply to one of those. Meet some people. Find out if they have open source project. Communicate with them. Find out, do they have social media? Do they do Twitch? Do they have some DevRels on Twitch or on Twitter or on TikTok? Interact with their content. Get to know them as a regular person. Then it won't be so awkward when you need to ask for the referral. Why do I keep mentioning the referral? Because that is the way you get your application pulled out from being number 9,000 to maybe number 20 or 30 or 40 or 50. You need somebody to see you. A lot of talent never gets hired because they never get seen. It's just like professional sports. There's tons of amazing basketball players and football players. I'm talking about it like in the US that you will never see because their opportunities didn't connect in a way that you were able to get the visibility. They just weren't in the right place at the right time. So your job is to not only code, but how can I increase my visibility? How do I get somebody to see me? And that's the networking piece. That's why you put yourself out in the world. It's not because you're trying to be like this big personality and I'm introvert, extrovert. Nobody cares about that crap. You just need somebody to see your freaking resume. And there are specific techniques you can do to increase that. Thank you.
So we're on the hunt, getting a job in tech. If you got questions, hopefully we'll get some answers and add some value. If you don't know what 100 Devs is, it's a wonderful, wonderful free web dev agency that's trying to help you learn how to code, whether it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, backend, full stack applications, or just the soft skills to get that job in tech. They're teaching all of it at 100 Devs. And might I add, free. Now, if you want to be the next person to get some value and ask your question, please, please, please grab the mic. If you can't grab the mic, if you look at our pinned tweets, the first one, you can ask your question right under there. All right. So if you're going to ask your question, please, please, please keep it short, 30 to 60 seconds. And it's tragic. Nobody grabbed the mic. But
People are afraid of success, bro.
it's absolutely crazy. The only person standing between you and that job is you. Right now, you could be getting that job. You could be getting tips to get that job. You're probably writing in that question right now. And you really could have gotten that question answered, but unfortunately Chelsea grabbed the mic. So guess what? She's going to get her answer before you. How is that fair? It's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. But guess what? That is life. Please, next time, if you have a mic, grab the mic. If you don't have a mic, please type in your question at the top of the first pin tweet. Hopefully, we'll give you some value. But unfortunately, the next question won't be yours. It's going to be Chelsea's. All right, Chelsea, feel free. 30 to 60 seconds. What's your question?
Hi, and thank you for hosting this space. My name is Chelsea, and I actually currently work in higher education, but I'm wanting to pivot into program management. I'm not sure if you have any insight. I'm not like technical, but I'm still wanting to pivot into tech, um, into program management, and also, um, do you have any insight as far as who to follow? I'm very new to Twitter, very new to tech. So if you could give any insight as far as tech Twitter and I guess setting my journey up for success, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Chelsea. She's looking for resources, tips, people to join the program management community. Now, I'm not a program manager, so I'm hoping that somebody in the wonderful, wonderful listener section could grab the mic. You could have added value to Chelsea right now. Yuri's about to add that value for Chelsea, but that could have been you. Realize people are literally giving money if you could answer those questions. If you look at my featured link in my account right under my bio, there's a whole bunch of services. People are paying to get their questions answered. That could have been you, but unfortunately, it is Yuri getting giving that value and not you. All right, Yuri, go ahead and answer Chelsea's question.
All right. Hi, Chelsea. Congratulations on changing careers. I'm also transitioning from a different background, and it's really, I know how hard it is. So like, support and and keep on being there because it's really hard. But I will say try to find people that you connect with and are on the same journey with you, so that you can share both your success and your struggles, and just try to, I don't know a lot of people on the product management side, but it's Twitter is all about connecting people with the same mindset, with the same goals, and I see it as trying more to like have friends instead of just like following people around, and just try to make meaningful connections and have fun, honestly. And congratulations on changing careers. That's a really brave step.
Boom, I love that. I absolutely love that. I'm going to add on to that. Um, as you're going through this, please, please, please document your journey. Because honestly, I don't know if I have any program management friends, but I would love to make you my first. So feel free, follow me, like things, and then please post about your program management journey. I would love to hear about it. All right, guys, thank you so much. Chelsea just got some value. Yo, that could have been you. Why is Chelsea about to get a job in tech and not you? Is it because she grabbed the mic? It probably is. Like, I don't know, maybe it's that beautiful smile, but maybe it's cuz she grabbed the mic. That could have been you. It's absolutely crazy. Well, anyway, we're going to get to the next question. It's going to be Miracle's going to be asking that question and getting some more value. I repeat, why is Miracle getting value and not you? Why is life being unfair to you? It's not.
Okay,
You could have grabbed the
o-
mic. All right, Miracle, go ahead and ask your question.
okay. It's not that I want to ask a question. I just want to put a small talk on what a fearless question asked that he have applied for a job but he didn't got it. So what I have to say on what fearless talk says that he should keep on applying. That the first that he applied, that he should not just stop applying, that he should keep on applying for a job until he gets the one that he wants. I think that this answers will be a good answer to his question. Thanks.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Look at Miracle also adding value. It's so crazy. All he did was come up and grab the mic and he got his question answered by 3 people. Now, I it's it's absolutely crazy who ends up in tech and who doesn't. They say you got to keep asking those questions. If you're currently trying to get a job in tech or you're currently doing something, I bet you've had 1,000 questions while you were doing that. And yet, I tell you, we're answering those questions and nobody grabs the mic. Why is that? Why is that? It's absolutely crazy. But that being said, somebody literally just quoted the tweets. Shali Prince. I've started learning web design using HTML on Udemy and want to build a career in front end web development. Am I in the right path? Or what should be the first thing to learn? Sounds about right. If you're trying to learn the web, you probably have to learn some HTML, CSS, and maybe some JavaScript. You could probably pick a different programming language, but I personally I I'd go with JavaScript. It's right there. But Yuri and Denny probably have some more value. Go ahead, Yuri. You were quicker.
Yeah, I will say you're on the absolutely right track. I will say you can never go wrong with the basics. So try to learn HTML, CSS, and the basics of JavaScript, and then you can migrate to anything else that you want. And JavaScript is literally in everything, so it's really useful to learn. especially now that React is such a big thing, and Node.js if you want to work then backend and stuff like that. But before you worry about all of that, I will say like just keep on learning the basics. You can do a lot of amazing stuff with it. And Danny knows, so I'm gonna pass the mic a bit to Danny to give you some more advice. But I think you're doing great.
I kind of fell asleep. What were we talking about? Projects?
Too funny. No, we were talking about Shali Prince and how he is trying to learn HTML right now, and he wants to make sure he is on the right track. Yes, he is. He is one step closer to getting that six-figure job in tech. Now, I ask you, why did he get that value and not you? Is it because, I don't know, he's a better dev? I don't think that's why. It's because he grabbed the mic. And look at this. Flawless coming and grabbing the mic again. He's about to get his question answered. Why is Flawless getting his question answered and not you? That could have been you.
So,
All right, Flawless, go ahead and ask that question. 36 to 60 seconds.
so the hint that I can give to him is just if he's learning HTML or CSS, it doesn't matter how far you are going. Do some simple project on what you come to learn, put in action, and it will help you growing in your career.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So we're about to go on to the next question. Feel free and drop it at the top, or better yet, grab the mic and fast track your career straight to the top. All right, Denny, go ahead and answer.
I don't really have a answer, but I was just wondering if you have seen the question from Randall. I think. Wait, I think he deleted. Oh no, it says what are good projects to put on an entry level resume, and then there's a couple of other questions just in case I fall asleep again.
Too funny. Yeah, we're gonna get to Randall's question. So what are good projects to put on an entry level resume? So I'm gonna tell you. First of all, I don't know what job you're looking for. So if we're talking about software engineering, I would suggest looking at that application and seeing what they're looking for. If you have all HTML, CSS, JavaScript projects, and they're over there asking for Python, and you have no Python, well, I'm not saying that you won't get that job. You probably definitely will get that job. But I'm telling you, your projects don't speak to that job requirement. So I can't tell you exactly what projects will get you that job because you didn't send me a job description. But I can definitely tell you if you have some projects that are in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I usually say that the number is about 3 so that you could fill a portfolio or fill a resume. So if you have about 3 projects, that is enough to look good and get a job in tech. Thank you so much, Randall, for that wonderful question. He's one step closer to that job. Now, I have a question. Why aren't you one step closer? Why didn't you grab the mic? That could have been your question. That could have been you getting that value. But you didn't grab the mic. Grab the mic. Now, if you don't have a mic, feel free to look at our pinned tweets and throw a question up there. We'll try and get to as many as we can. But if you want to fast track your dev career, please grab that mic. All right, the next question are, what are some of the most effective ways to network into an interview? Very, very, very good question. And I know both of our speakers will be able to hit it out of the park. If you're in the audience right now and you're a listener, and you could have answered that question that I just asked, and that's under our pinned tweet at the top, you could have gotten a 6-figure job and give all of these people some value. All right, I think Denny has a wonderful, wonderful answer for us. Go ahead.
Before I answer, in case I need to hop out anytime soon, it's a lovely space as always. Maybe you can invite my friend Zach from a Elgato. He always have has great responses. Before you do that, I'm just gonna quickly try to respond to the question because I do have a lot of interviewing practice and I guess experience. So the question was, what are some of the most effective ways to network into an interview? And that would be, I think, what Yuri and Sean mentioned earlier is being active on Twitter and the tech social medias and communities. By that, this could be Reddit, this could be Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. But you need to be putting out content. I think Sean mentioned this as well. You need to be producing value for others and also mention making sure that you're quote unquote building in public. What do I mean by that? It could be a project you're working on. Share it, share what you're working on. People will notice. That's literally how I got my job in a way. People will notice, and eventually someone in your network will say, hey bro, I know someone who is looking for someone. Is it okay if I recommend you? This is what I did with Yuri, for example. I hope she lands the job. We'll see. Tomorrow the guy will contact me back. But that's how it works. So if you know people, the people will help you out. But to know people, you need to start being active. You need to start interacting and not focusing on following, but the actual quality of your network as well. I hope that kind of answers your questions. Zach, hey, what's up? Glad you got on stage. Sean, thank you for inviting. Zach, thank you for this lovely space as well. Man, I'm gonna slowly hop out. I'm gonna keep you guys in the background. So if I fall asleep, just kick me out of this. I love you.
Love you too, Denny. All right. Look at all that value he just got. And he's about to get some more cuz Yuri's about to throw this question out of the park. Now I have a question. Why is it that he's getting all this value and it's not you? Is it because I don't know, his smile is so good? Of course not. It's because you didn't grab the mic. All right, Yuri, give him some more value.
I just want to add a little bit to what Denny said because Denny hit it right in the head. I will just say try to join communities and try to make meaningful connections. And by that, I mean try to make friends more than anything and connect with people. That's the root of everything. Like I met Denny through a community, and basically we've grown together, and it's been incredible having someone in the same journey as you, and it really helps a lot. And the thing he said, like he recommended me for a job, we'll find out. But you should never look at connections at how and why or when they can help you, but instead of just try to make like a meaningful connection with that person just because you want to, just because you believe in what they're building, or just because you guys are on the same journey, you see that he's learning the same thing you are, you guys want to connect, and like, you know. So like don't try to just do it as a way of like, yeah, this might get me like a job. Of course it can, because networking is everything, and not only in tech, in every aspect of life. But try to look at it more as a, how can I connect with this person on a personal level, instead of just looking at it as a benefit for me.
Boom, killing it, killing it, killing it. So, I always say that like networking is kind of a dirty word. As soon as I say networking, lots of people in here are cringing already. Oh my God, I have to put myself out there. Yes, yes, you do. But I always say that I kind of like to use the word, don't like to use the word networking, and just say all you have to do is show up. If we're at a party and you see all the cool kids sitting at a table, are you the person sitting in the back of the party just standing against the wall? Or are you going to take a seat at the cool kids' table? If you're the person trying to take a seat, grab the mic. You could be getting all of this value of networking. All you got to do is show up, Sometimes all you got to do is press the mic button. All right, I'm going to refresh for everybody who just came in. We're on the hunt, getting a job in tech. If you have questions, hopefully we'll have answers. Please share the room so that more people could get these answers. Feel free to, if you're wondering, who is this? It's me. Feel free to click on that account and see my bio. I'm not explaining who I am. But if you don't know what 100 Devs is, it's a wonderful dev agency teaching people how to become a software engineer, whether it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, backend, full stack engineering, or just the social skills to get that job in tech. 100 Devs is teaching it all for the free. Free. Get you some knowledge. It's always free. All right. So we're up here giving that value. If you're wondering how could I get my question answered, all you have to do is grab the mic. If you don't have a mic, you're on the PC. Feel free to put your question at the top from our pinned tweets. But that being said, please grab the mic. It'll put you straight to the front of the list. All right, team. Wonderfully. Look at this. POTUS. Okay, POTUS. POTUS is about to get his question answered. And do you know why? You're probably writing your pinned tweet right now. And unfortunately, POTUS is the one who's gonna get his question answered. And why is it? Why is it that he's getting his question answered and not you? Why is he getting that value and not you? It's not because he's a better dev. It's because he grabbed the mic. All right, POTUS, what's your question, tip, answer? Keep it short, 30 to 60 seconds.
Yeah, Sean, you're just a good guy, and I really thank you for the way you moderate the space. Uh, like you said, my question is that um, why is it that there's so many um, people who are chasing tech jobs and who have some form of qualification or another, and they're not able to get the jobs? There's a supposition that a lot of tech jobs are available out there, and why is it not coming? And secondly, what happens when you're not somebody who's good at networking? I mean, if you're somebody who is introverted, who is not so into other people's spaces, how do you get a job? How would your inability to network, how would it impact on you? Thank you.
I absolutely love it. He asked, okay, lots of people are trying to get jobs in tech. I see that they're skilled, they're devs. Why are they having so much trouble getting a job? Why do people have so much trouble networking? Very, very good questions. Um, and if you had the answer to POTUS's question, guess what? You could have gotten that job. Why aren't you getting that job? Is it because you didn't grab the mic? Probably because you didn't grab the mic. That being said, I would say that honestly, um, the people who haven't gotten a job in tech yet, it's not because they don't have great skills. I would say it's because they haven't positioned their valuable skills in a way that the people that need it can see that they have those needs and can easily get those skills. So if you're not getting interviews right now, it's probably because your LinkedIn or your resume doesn't match the job description that they're looking for. Because literally, that's the only thing that gets you into that interview. They're just looking at a piece of paper. Yup, looks like my job application. Let's give them a call. That is literally it. So if you right now aren't getting those interviews, literally, they're shooting those interviews at me. Like right now. Like not even reading my LinkedIn, not even reading those resumes. Just like, hey, you that looks amazing. Like, that just looks amazing. Do you want to be my co-founder? No, I don't want to be your co-founder. It says software engineer in my bio. So if you're not getting like crazy recruiters in your DMs right now, it's probably because your application doesn't literally look like your LinkedIn account or your resume. Um, Other than that, like, there's definitely other steps to getting through that wonderful tech um, process. But if you're not getting those interviews, like, you're not getting a chance, it's definitely because whatever job you're looking at does not look like your resume, does not look like your LinkedIn account. And it's tragic because you could be getting that job. You could be getting that job. All right, some people requested the mic. Thankfully, Viz just requested the mic. I was about to answer Viz's question because he, at the top in our pinned tweets, he commented under there, not realizing that all he had to do was grab the mic and he would have been fast tracked straight to the front of the line. Now, wait 1 second, Viz. I just want to ask everybody, why is Viz getting that value that you're not getting? Why you went and put that question under the top? Why is Viz getting his question answered and not you? It's because he grabbed the mic. He put his profile in front of yours. Go ahead, Viz. Ask your question, give your tip, answer, what have you. 30 seconds or less.
Okay, yeah, like I just started my journey in backend, that's Node.js. I started this any like advice on how to like get a job or apply because I think I'm ready to go out there and get a job.
Did you guys hear that question? I think I might have missed the question part.
So sorry,
Can you repeat, Viz?
okay, like I said, I just started Node.js like 3 months or 4 months ago, yeah. So I think I'm ready to go out there. Any points or tips on how to get a job or build a portfolio for a job application.
Love it, love it, love it. He's looking for tips on getting a job or building your portfolio. So I'm gonna give some value, please. Speakers, if you want to give some value, please raise your hands. So Viz asked, okay, how do I build my portfolio and get that job? The first step is definitely you have to have a portfolio. If your job specifically in tech has like deliverables, you're gonna want to literally show them what you delivered, whether it's a product, what have you, even if it's a tweet, because you're a social media manager, you got to be able to make it very easy for me to be able to see that. If it's not on your resume, if it's not on your LinkedIn account, it doesn't exist. You don't have any experience if I can't see it. So please put those projects on your LinkedIn, put those projects on your resume. I need to be able to see it. All right. So we're going to go with Yuri and then Lawrence. Go ahead, Yuri.
And yeah, I wanted to also answer on the second part of the last question, how to network when you're an introvert. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You just gotta get out there. You just gotta. I'm an introvert, and look at me. I'm talking on a space. I've gone from like super introvert to like being comfortable enough to be on spaces. And it's because you gotta put yourself out there and you gotta talk to people. And even being an introvert, you can reply to a tweet. And even if it gives you anxiety or you have like issues with that, you can just put on a simple tweet and connect with them that way. You don't have to like physically or like verbally interact with them right away. So I will just say jump in. And answering this question, I heard he's learning Node.js. So I will say, well, first of all, I love the picture with Tom Holland and the header of Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. I was obsessed with it. And but back to the question, do some projects on Node.js. Do some really good backend projects. Put it on your portfolio, like 2 or 3 really good and juicy projects. And if you don't have work experience like I do, because I switched careers, you can put that, well, something that has worked for me on my resume is that in work experience, because you're required to put some work experience, I just put like my best, most amazing, breathtaking projects that I've done, and they have gotten me some interviews. So if you have zero experience and you come from like knowing nothing to now trying to transition into tech, that will be something good that to put there, not to have that empty. But it's basically just adding to what Sean said and just put your projects out there and let people know what you can build and what you know at this point.
Love it, love it, love it. Yuri coming in with the value. And you already said in your post that you have 4 projects. I always tell people you only need enough projects to fill out that portfolio, fill out that resume, and usually the minimum is like 3. So you're already there. Just make sure you're like showing off your projects as best you can.
Yeah, but all my projects like they're on GitHub.
I'm pointing out that it has nothing to do with GitHub. If all your projects are on GitHub, then that's probably, I mean, I don't know, but I've heard recruiters do not even click on your GitHub. So they're not even going to see your projects. So please make sure you have a portfolio or like a link tree that's linking to your projects or something. And when you have it on your resume, when you have it on your LinkedIn, there's a way to connect links with some shiny thumbnails. It's completely fine if they're all on GitHub, but when I'm on your LinkedIn, I have to be able to look at something that looks like your project and click on it to go to that code. It's completely fine if, I mean, I'm not sure what title you're going for. If you're looking for a software engineer or web developer, they're probably gonna want those things hosted. They're gonna want something to show that it's on the web and deployed. So please make sure your code is deployed at least like 1 or 2, so that somebody can click on it and they can see the value you can create for them. All right, we're gonna go with Zach and then Lawrence. All right, Zach, if you have a question, answer, tip, go ahead and create that value.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, no, I was just gonna chime in on the Node.js since he's learning Node.js. You can go to it's called firebase.google.com, and you can host your Node.js projects there for free up to like, I don't know, it's like a couple million uses or something like that. So it's free for a long time. You'll never have to really pay anything, and then you can send people there and say, "Hey, look at this API that I built." Just send them a link that feeds them some JSON data or something like that. But it's all for free, so it's a pretty good place to start probably. I think there's another one called Heroku as well. But yeah, I would just look for a free Node.js server hosting somewhere, and you can build a project there. Even if it's something small, it like serves up a little bit of data. It's good to show that off.
Yeah, I've built a project on Heroku. Yeah, that's where my projects are deployed on.
Love it, love it. If they're already deployed, send them a link. Put that thumbnail on your resume or your portfolio. You don't like those recruiters, those people that actually get you into that first stage of the interview process. They're not looking through your GitHub. They're looking at your project, seeing if it looks nice, and then sending you a wonderful phone call to get the next steps in the interview. So if you're not getting into those first steps of the interview process, is probably because your portfolio and your resume don't look super nice. All right, Viz, thank you so much. Hopefully you got some value from that. All right, so we're gonna go on over to Lawrence. Let's see if he's gonna be providing some value, or do you have a question?
Oh, I'm just here to stir up the pot, Sean. What's going on? Good to see you again. Still on the hunt, second day in a row. think I heard one of my answers being recycled by you, so that makes me feel real good. Appreciate it.
Love it, love it, love it. You
All
already know
jokes,
it.
baby. All love. Hey, listen, the person two people ago, they were asking about Jesus. I think they were. Which one was the node guy? It was the person working on the job. The person Poutus. That person. I wanted to address their question and kind of take it in a step-by-step fashion. And this will be for everybody, right? This is for me too. So if you're at a point where you think it's time to apply for jobs, you're applying to, let's just say, tons of jobs, hundreds of jobs, you're not hearing anything at all, then more than likely, the employers are not seeing on your resume anything that gives them the confidence that you can do the job day one. Okay. And maybe it's true, but you haven't emphasized those things. And so you want to always put your strongest point, I call it your best bait, pull that at the top of your resume. For some of you, it's your educational background. You got the 4.0 from Carnegie Mellon. For some of you, it's the internship at Apple you had last semester or last summer. For some of you, you don't have access to that. You don't have access to those resources, but you built an amazing full stack project that's an e-commerce store or, I don't know, some social media site for devs in your area, and it's fully deployed and accessible. Let's make a new definition for everybody, right? Personal projects. Let's define personal projects. Any personal project that is not fully deployed and accessible to a human being outside of your immediate circle is just play code. It's not a project anymore. So just don't even say I have a project unless you've put it out there, because no hiring manager on LinkedIn. Sean already said this. So I'm going to reemphasize it so we don't make this mistake anymore. No hiring manager on LinkedIn is going to go into your GitHub and go through your code. It will never happen ever. Okay. So say I have some play codes I've been working on, and I'm going to deploy it to AWS free tier or GCP free tier. I'm going to throw it on DigitalOcean or HostMonster. I'm going to throw it some freaking where a person outside my immediate circle, somebody I might not see in person, they can access it with one-click link. A one-click. I don't care if it's on the App Store, Google Play Store, on your own site, somewhere accessible, live code in the wild. That's a personal project. And as Sean already said, you need between 3 and 5, unless you just go ham, right? You write the next Instagram, one project will get you in. And it's funny because some of us are taking advantage of the fact that many awesome tech companies are open sourcing some of the technologies they work with. What a fantastic way to get in. Here you are kicking and screaming and fighting, trying to get it in. You need to touch base with somebody. And there's companies who have open sourced much of their technology, and you can work with their engineers directly, just as a private citizen on the street who thinks that this technology is pretty cool or the problems they're working on are pretty neat. And over time, you contribute and you work on those issues, those open issues. You make your own pull requests, and you begin to know some of the people and build a relationship that maybe will allow you to ask for a referral 3 to 6 months down the road. Not guaranteed, but a whole bunch better than just throwing 100 applications in the air and saying, God, let somebody see my resume. So anyway, if you're not getting any callbacks, then don't have any confidence you can do the job day one. If you are getting the callback, but you're not getting past the phone screen, you need to just go practice phone screens immediately. Find somebody, somewhere, to just work on your elevator pitch, your standard questions you will always get in the phone screen. Something's not coming across properly there. Maybe it's your energy. Maybe it's you don't smile on Zoom. Who knows what it is? But they're not seeing what they want to see to go to the next level. Because I always say the phone screen is basically just the asshole test. Pardon the language if that offends you. That's all I want to make sure. You're not just some complete, Martian weirdo asshole that's going to just disrupt their team and make them look bad for hiring you. So if you're not passing that, then there's some of those things coming out in your personality. It's okay. We all have some of that. Just go practice. Go practice with friends. Do a Google search. Top 10 most frequently asked questions in phone interviews. Print it out. Text it to a friend and say, hey, just ask me these questions and I'm going to answer it. And you record me with your iPhone and we're going to look at it together and review it. You can do that at Starbucks today. You'll have to pay for expensive service to get a friend who might not know anything about tech, but they say, why do you frown so much? You may not have known you frown. You have to practice these things. Okay? So now if you get past the getting called back, you get past the phone screen, the next place where I am astounded people are messing it is with the technical interview, because most companies of any size, you can do a minimal amount of research and find out the nature of their technical interviews. And if you're ready, great. If you're not ready, then prepare, right? If it's going to be DSA style, all the resources, like there's been 1,000 Twitter spaces about how to get ready for those. Just do the stuff. Don't do the interview without doing the stuff and then be dismayed that you didn't pass the interview. Like that doesn't make sense. And if you don't want to do that style, that's perfectly fine. Find a company that doesn't do that kind of interview. Last time I checked, there's a GitHub repo of companies that just do not do whiteboard interviews. Apply to one of those. Meet some people. Find out if they have open source project. Communicate with them. Find out, do they have social media? Do they do Twitch? Do they have some DevRels on Twitch or on Twitter or on TikTok? Interact with their content. Get to know them as a regular person. Then it won't be so awkward when you need to ask for the referral. Why do I keep mentioning the referral? Because that is the way you get your application pulled out from being number 9,000 to maybe number 20 or 30 or 40 or 50. You need somebody to see you. A lot of talent never gets hired because they never get seen. It's just like professional sports. There's tons of amazing basketball players and football players. I'm talking about it like in the US that you will never see because their opportunities didn't connect in a way that you were able to get the visibility. They just weren't in the right place at the right time. So your job is to not only code, but how can I increase my visibility? How do I get somebody to see me? And that's the networking piece. That's why you put yourself out in the world. It's not because you're trying to be like this big personality and I'm introvert, extrovert. Nobody cares about that crap. You just need somebody to see your freaking resume. And there are specific techniques you can do to increase that. Thank you.
Killing it. Lawrence beating you over the head with that value. He even said about the wonderful, wonderful link for no whiteboard interviews. Please, if you don't know what that link is, feel free to go in my bio. It's right there. It's all the way at the bottom for the resources. All right, so
Hey,
yeah,
Sean,
go
can you
ahead.
do me one favor? Go to Zach next. I have a funny feeling he's going to riff on something I said in a very good way. Is that okay?
I love it. Yeah, go ahead,
Thank
Zach.
you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just needed to emphasize the first thing you said about the projects. I missed so many interviews because of I thought they were going to look at my code on my GitHub, and I'm like, I got the cleanest code. It's great. Everybody's going to love it, and they never even looked at it. So that was huge. And the other thing is, I've gone into so many interviews thinking that I could handle the technical piece. Where I'm like, all right, I know that I can, handle the technical bits, and the personality stuff's gonna be fine because as you said, I'm not. At least I don't think I'm an asshole, but usually I get through that part. But I've gotten to so many technical interviews where it was just like, if I had just studied a little bit more, I know I would have answered the questions better. So I just really wanted to emphasize that those two pieces. If I had gotten that advice a long time ago, I would have landed some really big jobs. I mean, sooner. I'm very happy where I'm at now, but just good advice for sure.
Love it, love it, love it. See, we're already creating value. All right, Roshane is about to get her answer next. Remember, if you don't know what we're doing here, we're on the hunt, getting a job in tech. If you have questions, hopefully we'll get you some answers. If you didn't notice, there's a wonderful pinned tweet up there with lots of questions. Feel free to put yours there if you can't grab the mic. All right, so the next person we're going to is Roshane. Um, Go
Okay.
ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Sean. My name is Rochanel. I am in Leon's 100 Devs program, and just kind of reaching out because you guys are on the hunt, and we're going to start that pretty soon. Big shout out to Lawrence for answering the first part of my question, which was essentially coding interviews and how to pass those technical interviews. But I do kind of have a follow up question to that. So how similar is entry level positions to the technical interview? So kind of like what could you kind of expect as an entry level developer once you get that position?
I absolutely love that question. Zach is about to throw that out of the park. Go ahead, Zach.
I can rant on this one all day. It's nothing like the interview. I hate to put it that way, but the interview process for developer positions is very much different from your day to day. Getting through basically they want to see if you have the problem solving skills, but once you get to the job, the problems are, especially in a junior role, they're typically very well laid out for you. And like Depending on the company. Now you can find some kind of loser companies out there that'll throw you right into the deep end, but most of the time the problems are a lot more planned out than say the interview where you have no idea what they're going to ask you until you get there. But the data structures and algorithms bit is always hard in the interview, and you don't use it nearly as much once you get to your day-to-day spot for sure.
Yeah, I absolutely hate that like the whole grind of getting people to get those interviews and then getting to actually the end of this interview process, negotiations, all of this stuff, and then none of those skills are part of my job. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, there's a
All
pretty
right.
big disconnect there.
All right, Lawrence, go ahead, add some more value.
Yep, just piling on to what Zach already said and agreeing with him totally. And just as a reminder, research. I can give that answer to probably every single question that gets asked. Do some research because, again, not every company does data structure algorithm interviews for even their junior candidates. I was actually interviewing with a support role a little while back, and the take-home test or the take-home assignment they had me do was an exact scenario that their engineers face, like in a recent, I don't know, last 3 or 6 months or something, like 1-to-1, which was amazing. Like we argue about, I don't want to do take home, this is working for free and all that. But it was the exact scenario. That was the thing we asked for. And so you have to do your research. If it's a larger company, it'll be easier to find out what type of interview they have and how closely aligned it is to the day-to-day work. If it's a smaller company, it takes a little more work on your part. But again, research. The same way we dig up things on social media to find out stuff about celebrities, dig up all that you can on the internet to find out stuff about the companies you're interested in. It can be done. But yeah, totally company dependent. I will say this as well. As a first job in tech, and I said this yesterday, I apologize for repeating so many answers. At the end of the day, there's not too many original ideas on this stuff. It's like you'll get a few basics and you just run with it. So I always say, for a first job in tech, if you're making a career transition, you don't have this amazing CS background and 5 years of mathematics that just flying out of your head. You're a regular person off the street like me who learned enough code to be dangerous. I highly advocate you going for large companies that are not tech companies. Banks, grocery stores, airlines, logistics firms, supply chain firms, any huge Fortune 500 company that hires tons and tons of devs, but they're not a tech company. Why? Reason number one, if they're in your area, you have an opportunity to start going to meetups and potentially meeting some of those engineers in person, just as two people sitting across the table eating pizza and listening to the guy talking about JavaScript, or the gal, excuse me, and building a relationship. You can do that wherever you live. You don't have to be in Silicon Valley. Okay, you live in Arkansas, you can do that with the Walmart folks. I'm in the Memphis area, I can do it with the Microsoft folks or the FedEx folks or the what's our other big one, the Nike folks. In your area, go to meetups and figure out who you can meet. That you're not going to walk up and say, "Hi, my name is Lawrence. Do you have a job?" "Hey, my name is Lawrence. I just finished this program in JavaScript. Blah, 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 blah. I really am interested in these problems you guys are solving at your company." Well, how do you know what they're working on in their company? Because you did your research. You went to meetup.com and you saw who was doing the talking. You did some research on him and his company and all that stuff. So you walk in prepared as if it were an interview. Even though you're just going to a meetup to make friends, you show up interested. They might get interested in you. I'm going to stop right there and we'll leave him hanging.
Absolutely love it. Go ahead, Zach.
Oh, I just wanted to jump on that one as well because I feel like he called me out a little bit. I've applied to the Googles and the Microsofts and the Facebooks and all of those, and I ended up working in logistics for my first job. And I can confirm the interview is definitely much easier, and as long as they're the good people to work with, it's experience under your belt for sure.
I can attest that the Amazon interview was definitely harder than the regular, like just the little time interviews. But that being said, um, we're on the hunt getting a job in tech. If you have questions, hopefully we have some answers. Please share the room if you got some value, or if one of your followers, friends need some of this value, please share the mic. Frank is about to blow your mind with some value, so please share the mic. We don't want your friends to miss what Frank is about to say. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, Sean. Thanks a lot for holding this down another day. Yeah, I think it's exactly what they said. Go in there, do your research, know what you want, and then blow their minds. Let be a genuine friend, trying to get to know people rather than trying to get a job immediately. It's easier when you have some rapport with them for them to remember you and then get you a job rather than you just going saying, "Hey, I'm Frank. I just want a job in tech." Nah, it doesn't work that way. You need to show a little bit more interest. Leon says it best. He says, research on them, try to get something apart from tech you guys can talk about, and then that would be awesome for you guys. However, I wanted to ask if any of you guys have know of an opening in for apprentices for web devs. My cousin wants an apprenticeship in web dev, and I don't know if you guys know any paid apprenticeships. If you have, you could just share. Thanks.
In the U.S. or where?
Yeah, in the US.
Boom, love it. You got some resources for him, Lawrence?
Go to apprenticeships.me. They're a little out of date on some of them, but that contains all of the ones you've ever heard of. LinkedIn's, Reach, Microsoft's Leap, Google, all of them are on there. Apprenticeships.me. Now, they're not always open at the same time, but that's your resource to follow throughout the year to see when they do open.
Okay. Any as in ANY?
Apprenticeships.me as in me.
ME. Okay. All right. Great. Thanks.
Love
Welcome.
it, love it, love it. All right, listeners. So I have a question. That's exactly what networking is about. It's not about somehow gaining 5,000 followers. It's about gaining one singular friend that will say your name in a room full of strangers where you're not at. Frank had a friend that needed something, so he went to another table and asked them for food off of their table so that he could go feed his friend. That's what we're talking about. That's what networking is about. It's not about getting followers. It's not about necessarily gaining connections with people. It's about being able to create value for another human being. All right. So, if you if you don't know, we're on the hunt getting a job in tech. Go ahead, Lawrence. Create some more value.
Actually, I'm going to stir the pot up and throw in a couple of bee stings as well, because I have a question for everyone who is not a speaker. So I'm going to literally ask this and I'm going to go down. I'm trying to figure out within the tech and want to be in tech community, why are we so often more enamored with popularity than quality? Some of the top developers that I have ever encountered in my life who do also happen to have a social media presence have the smallest followings. I'm talking about people who are moving the needle at their company or in their technology of choice. Mediocre to small followings. But popularity, oh man, if you can talk the talk and walk the walk and have a little swag or whatever, it's over. You might as well be Beyonce and Jay-Z rolled up into one, which I guess that would be like Blue Ivy, right? But anyway, I'm curious, and anybody who can answer that for me, I will literally go down into the listeners because I want somebody to help me out. I'm just curious.
I got the answer for you. So, the reason why they have a large following is because at some point they are creating value. A thousand people wouldn't be sitting at their table if what was on the table wasn't valuable to them. It's not about somehow getting 500 million followers. You have to have something valuable for those 500 million followers to watch or they will leave. So it's there's lots of wonderful devs, but if that dev can't sell themselves, if that dev doesn't put themselves in front of eyeballs, they won't get those big follower accounts. Like right now, there's lots and lots and lots of great devs in this room right now. Why is it that Lawrence was sitting at the cool kids table? Why is Yuri right now sitting at the cool kids table? Is it really that Yuri is a cool kid? Or is it that she just grabbed the mic? Please, if you have a mic and you haven't grabbed it, please grab the mic. All right, for those who have just gotten here, we're on the hunt getting a job in tech. If you have questions, we hopefully have answers. If you got some value out of this room, please share the room. We want to make sure your friends and family get this value. And if you don't know about 100 devs, please figure it out. It's in my pinned links and under my bio. You could definitely find that link to find out the free web dev agency teaching you HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, backend, and all the soft skills to get that job in tech. For the free. I repeat, for the free. The thing about that free thing is that you have to do the work. After I tell you about HTML, you still gotta build that website. But that being said, that's because it's for the free. Anyway, if you want this value, please grab the mic or put your question in the pinned tweets at the top. I always say that. It's great to put the pinned tweets at the top, but if you grab the mic, you get speed past all of those and get straight onto the stage. Your question will be answered first. There's probably people hurriedly typing right now, trying to get their tweet in, but somehow POTUS has skipped the line. Because guess who's getting that next question? POTUS. Oh wait, actually Frank's been up here for quite some time. I want to make sure Frank gets a chance to talk. So POTUS is about to get his question answered, but I want to introduce you to Frank. He was giving me lots and lots and lots of value yesterday, so I want to give Frank the opportunity to talk. Please keep it short, 30 to 60 seconds. Give it up for Frank. It's your time to shine.
Yeah, Sean, thanks again. Yeah, so I'm just up here to listen to some of the questions and help you out if you have some value to share. So you guys don't be scared. Just come up here, ask your questions, and we'll be here to support you. Yes.
Boom, he's killing it. See, that's what I call networking. It's not about like going in and having like the best dinner at the table and providing the most value and doing all of this. It's literally just showing up. You didn't have to come to the table and have, bring a meal. We already eaten out here. We already got the meal. All you got to do is come to the table, grab that mic, sit at the cool kids table. All right, if you have any questions, please put it up at the pinned tweets at the top. But if you want to fast track past all of those questions, please grab the mic. I brought somebody up here like 5 seconds ago, and I don't know where they went. I was just about to ask their question, but guess what? Luckily, we have a bunch of people typing their questions, and I'm going to go straight to the top. What are some of the most of... Okay, I think we already read that one. Hello, I learned basics of web dev, made some projects, then started learning DSA, and I'm doing it since. Right now, development is not my strong point. It's DSA. How can I leverage it for getting a job? Love the question. Hopefully, some people on our speaker stand will be able to give you some value. If you already have some projects, please put those up. Make sure they're in your portfolio. Make sure they're on your resume. Make sure they have nice pictures so that the project managers, the recruiters can click on it and say, yeah, that looks like a project. 5 points. Go on to the tech manager and get that technical. Boom. If you're not getting past that first step in the interview, it's probably because your project or your resume or your portfolio wasn't visually appealing to the project manager. It didn't look like what they were looking for. So please make sure you're getting past that first step and your projects and your portfolio looks like what they're looking for. All right, Yuri, go ahead and create more value for them.
Yeah, we actually answered a question similar to that one yesterday on a space that I host with Denny. And basically, you just want to make sure that your projects showcase that you know data structures and algorithms. By that, I mean that you have like a sorting algorithm that is fast, or some basic like functionality, but you made it showcase that you're really good in that area, and also that all your projects have some sort of data that you can work with and make it effective on how fast can you pull it. And this advice is not coming from me. One of mine, he's ex Google, and he basically says that all you should do is try to showcase your strongest abilities in your project and just let them do the talking for you.
Boom. Love it. Love it. Love it, Yuri. Up here creating value. All right. So the next person up, realize you're probably right now typing up long questions and putting it in the pinned tweet. I love that. If you do not have a mic, we'll definitely get there. But if you do have a mic, why haven't you grabbed the mic? Because unfortunately, like, you might not know this, but grabbing the mic puts you all the way to the front of the list. It's like jumping in the recruiter's DMs or buying them a wonderful lunch. You get straight fast track to the front of the list. So you probably right now writing your question, all you had to do was grab the mic and you would have been the first one. All right, POTUS, go ahead. Add some value.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Sean. And um, what I want to talk about is the aspect of new people who want to get jobs. They need to be, number one, they need to be aggressive about their job hunting. And I want to give an example of some of the people that I've mentored. This guy, wrote to a job application to some companies, and then nearly all the companies told him that he didn't have any chance, either because the application was already taken or the quota was already filled up. And guess what he did? He wrote a letter to each and every of the CEOs or the recruiters explaining the need and why he feels that he should be part of the job. He should be part of the apprenticeship. He should be part of the internship or whatever it is. Even offering to say, okay, even if I don't want to get paid, I need to be part of the team. And he's stating his reasons. And I tell you, about 30% of the people he wrote to, they responded. And as I speak, he's already having a problem making a choice of which of the 30% that he needs to write to. Now, that's one aspect of trying to hunt and get a job. And then the second thing is there's a need for you to be patient as a developer, because you need to, first of all, hone your skills. Your skill sets must be sharp, you must hone it, and then in that interval where you are actually trying to get a job or in the process where you are applying for a job, you need to have personal projects. Now, probably somebody has spoken about this and agrees this, but the added value, the addition I'm saying is that you must have your projects and set your eyes on entrepreneurship. Take entrepreneurship so that no matter how small, even if it's at a smaller scale, you can start to build very small websites. Look for some of your your friends, your networks, and you have to be publicizing and doing those little things. At the end of the day, those little things are going to eventually add up to the fact that you are very active and you're learning. And at the end of the day, you will be attractive to employers. so that you can hit it bigger. That's I yield.
I absolutely love it. See, networking isn't like this crazy thing. It's about reaching out and telling people not only what you can provide for them, but also just reaching out. It's absolutely that easy. You don't have to call it networking, it's just showing up. Sometimes you're sorry, randomly muted everybody. It's just showing up. You're not necessarily like going crazy. You just show up in those CEO DMs. You just show up in that email list. You just show up at the cool kids table. You just show up at the hunt getting a job in tech. If you got questions, hopefully we have some answers. Right now, you're probably putting in your question at the top right now. But guess who is getting their question answered? It's V's. V's already got one of his questions answered. But guess what? He's getting it again because guess what? He fast tracked his way to the top by hopping in these DMs and grabbing the mic. Go ahead, V's.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Yeah, regarding that's adding to my last question. Like I just recently hosted a web platform, sorry, a Stripe payment platform on Heroku. But that was just the back end part. There's no visual on top, but it's working correctly. Just so how do I attract potential job finders that want to look for a job? How do I find them? Because now it doesn't look appealing. That is my back end project.
I love it. I love it. Zach has some wonderful value. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think so. So, one thing you can do to show off backend code is look into some tools like Postman, where you can set up like a library there, and I think they're even shareable. So you can create a library there and share that Postman library and have it all set up so that the only thing the hiring person would have to do is like click a button and it'll serve up your JSON. Something like that might be useful. I'm not sure. Maybe it sounds like a cool side project for any front end developers to build something that's easy for back end developers to just display their project. But yeah, Postman I think is probably a good place to maybe build I think they're called workspaces, and you can even make them shareable.
Yeah, yeah. I use Postman to test my API. You know the application. What I used to normally test my API.
Yeah. So if you're already using it, that's even better. So I think there's a way that you can make a publicly shareable library from there. You might just have to like look up a YouTube video or play around with it a little bit.
Boom. Love it. Love it. Love it. These just got one step close. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, V's. I just kicked him out. Hopefully he comes back. But anyway, V's just got some value. He literally got one step closer to that wonderful, wonderful tech job. Now that could have been you. You could have been one step closer. You could have been also kicked out. So, but you could have got that value before you got kicked out. Oh my God! Why didn't you raise your hand? You're right now still typing in that wonderful question pinned tweet at the top. You're writing your question vigorously when all you had to do was grab the mic, fast track your way to a job in tech. If you got questions, we have answers. So if you don't know what 100 Devs is, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful free web dev agency that's helping you learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, backend, and all the soft skills to get a wonderful job in tech. All right, if you haven't already, please share the space. One of your friends right now is studying DSA, trying to get a job in tech. They could use all of these awesome gems. That being said, you're probably vigorously typing your question at the top right now. But guess what? T figured out the loophole. T is over here in the CEO's DMs, fast tracking her career. I'm telling you, you could click on that pinned tweet and share your question, and maybe we'll get to it. Or you could just grab the mic like T did and get your question answered. All right, T, go ahead. It's your time to shine.
Hey yo, these motherfuckers don't be giving me no job, man. I've been looking for job everywhere, man. Fuck's sake, man. Other day I went to retail, man, to give my interview. Motherfuckers asking me some work experience. What fucking work experience do I need? For hanging clothes, motherfucker? Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Just give me a job, man. It's hard out here. Inflation's a mad, bro. Motherfucker. Just need some fucking
Wait,
job. Stop asking
waiting
me
for
all
the
these
question.
questions. Just need some job interview, that's all. Asking me when's the last time I did exceptional customer service. The fuck out of here with that bullshit. Just give me the fucking job, man. It's just about hanging the fucking clothes, that's all.
I only let him speak so long because I liked his accent. All right, T. I love it. They should just give T a job. Like if you have a job, please give T a job. Now I have a question. That's exactly how you need to do it. Like I understand it's probably not the platform uh for T. He just wants a job. And I absolutely support his conviction. Um, See, you got to be more like T. The delivery is a little bit to be desired, but you got to be like T. He got up here and shot his shot, and guess what? He got views. Now we know T is that guy. You need to give him a job. And that's literally all networking is showing up at the cool kids table and then saying, this is what I want, or this is who I am. And hopefully one of you guys will go into another table and talk about T and how he needs a job. And then a recruiting manager at that table will be like, oh shoot, T sounds like the type of person I would give a job to. And then boom, you networked your way into a job. All right. So if you just came in, we're on the hunt getting a job in tech. And I would like to say that's why I do not record my spaces, because honestly, I like to have the ability for T to express himself without hiring managers seeing that and saying, you know what? We're not hiring T. So please, T, when you go into my recorded spaces tomorrow, please try your hardest to not like fill the room with F bombs. I loved it today, and I will definitely love it for all my non-recorded spaces, but please, there's children watching. All right, guys. So, if you're still on the hunt getting a job in tech, we got questions. T got questions, and hopefully we got answers. Please grab the mic if you haven't already. We've been giving amazing value. Yuri's been giving amazing value. Zach's been giving amazing value. Frank has been giving amazing value. So much value that theoretically, if I had the money, I would pay them. I would literally pay them for this value, because there are people literally paying for this value. Right now, there are people paying 5 figures, thousands of dollars for boot camps, not knowing that they could have just been at 100 devs, a free web dev agency giving you all you need: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, backend, and all the soft skills to get that job in tech. If you haven't already, please share the room. We want your friends to get all of this value for the free. Now, you must be wondering, how can I do all of this for the free? It's easy because if you click in my pinned tweets, if you click under my bio on that pinned link, you will see all of my links, all of my resources, but also all of my products. I am selling every single one of these pieces of advice. Now, you could pay $100 and get that value, or you could come here, grab the mic, and get your question answered. All right. So if you're too shy, you can't do that. You can't grab that mic. Please put your question under the pinned tweet at the top, and hopefully we will get to it. But we prioritize people who grab the mic, take the initiative to get up here and ask their question. Like, I need you to grab the mic because T is grabbing the mic and he wants his question answered. And if I give him the mic, he's gonna get his question answered. And honestly, that could be you. Why give T the value? Why let T get the six-figure job and not you? It's crazy. And you still didn't request. You still didn't grab the mic. It's tragic. I'm just gonna give T the value. I'm gonna let him get the space again. Like, you just heard the craziness he said. Why are those people getting to the top of the stack? Why like Lawrence asked, why are there so many great devs who don't have a great following? And then there's this other dev with 100,000 followers, and he's not as good as that dev up there with 1,000. But guess what? He puts his hand up and gets those followers. You don't have to necessarily have the best value, but if you're giving value, there will be customers. Lawrence, there's a great burger place right around the corner, and they probably got thousands of customers. But guess what? McDonald's serves millions of burgers every day. Why is it? Are they not serving value? Clearly they are giving somebody some value. It doesn't matter what the price of that value is, but if you're up here giving value, guess what? There will be customers. All right, so thankfully, somebody else put up their hand and put their spot in front of T. T will probably still get his question answered. You know why? Because T is that type of person to put his hand up as many times as he has to get his questions answered. You need to be like T. Like T, once he gets into that dev job, he's not going to sit there not knowing what to do, not knowing what am I supposed to be doing, and then not asking. He is literally getting in that hiring manager's face and saying, what do I need to do to get a job? And guess what? That puts him in front of your application. That puts him in front of you. Lawrence was asking, how come that dev that's like amazing only has 1,000 followers? Because T is putting his application in front of his and getting all of his followers. That's why. Well, anyway, Taylor has a wonderful question, and he's about to get that value. Hopefully, he has a good question. Go ahead, Taylor.
Hey, Sean. I just jumped on. Hopefully, no one's asked this, but I want to get your thoughts on recruiters and what recruiters in the tech space. Does it make sense to go through a recruiter, or do you prefer just to go direct? What are your thoughts on that?
I absolutely love it. See, Taylor is about to get some value and one step closer to that job. It's crazy, because that could have been you, yo. That could have been you. It was just one step away. So I'm gonna answer his question. Hopefully, some other speakers will have some value as well. So I do believe you should be getting those hiring managers or those recruiters or whoever has the ability to press a button and give you an interview. Realize that there are people right now wondering, why am I not getting an interview? Well, if you sent that recruiter a message, they probably send you to the next step if your profile looked nice and your resume look like the type of job we're hiring for. So that's my answer. Yes, anybody in the pipeline that's going to have a literal substantial thumb on the literal scales for you getting in a job in tech, you should be in their DMs. You should be asking them, hey, can you give me a referral? I know you're in the pipeline. And I love, I'm going to give one of Jared's quick tips. The way he used to do it is he used to jump in people's DMs and offer them lunch, $5 to $10 for a coffee chat in a minute of their time, and then ask for that referral. Absolutely genius. If you were to buy me a sandwich, literally, I would speed you all the way to the front. You'd be getting your question answered before Taylor. You'd be immediately right there. But unfortunately, you didn't buy me a sandwich. SeanCharles.com/sandwich. But that being said, you should definitely reach out to those recruiters. Please reach out to those hiring managers. Please reach out to anybody. Right now, there's people applying right now, not reaching out to anybody. And their application is going straight into the hiring manager's DMs and then straight into the trash. All right, Zach, create some more value for Taylor.
Yeah, I'll toss my 2 cents in, and then I'm gonna drop down. But definitely, if it's like your first job, for sure, you want to talk to every recruiter under the sun. Anybody that's gonna give you a message, you're gonna message them back and be on the phone with them. But I mean, once you get to a more intermediate or senior level, sometimes the recruiters can get a little spammy. But for the first job, definitely talk to everyone. And then I always see there's like levels of value of the recruiter as well. If this is like a recruiter from some company that nobody's ever heard of before, they're obviously going to have a little less value or a little less impact on your career choices than someone that's like a recruiter directly from the company. So if it's a recruiter that's like a Microsoft recruiter from Microsoft, that's like way more valuable than a recruiter from some company that you may or may not have ever heard of. But other than that, that's all I've got. So thanks for letting me speak, guys. It was fun.
Thank you so much, Zach. He's always here creating so much value for us. We absolutely applaud you. It is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I agree. Like if I call them, first of all, some are recruiters and then others are headhunters. They're literally looking for somebody to get a seat in there, and they're literally sending those messages to everybody. If you got like a Ruby on Rails message, they're looking for a Ruby developer, and there's absolutely no space in your profile that says I'm looking for Ruby positions, or I'm a Ruby developer. That's usually one of those outside recruiters, because the in-house recruiters aren't really. I'm not saying that they aren't trying to fill a quota, but I feel like they're less. They're more selective with who they send those messages out to. But like I said, whoever has the thumb on the scale for getting a job in tech, please show up in their DMs. All right. So Taylor just got all of that value. And my real question is, why wasn't that you? Taylor's one step closer to that wonderful, juicy tech money. Now, I have a question. Why isn't that you? Like, really? You could have grabbed the mic. Be one step closer to your job in tech. For those who just came in, we're on the hunt getting a job in tech. If you have questions and you don't want to grab the mic, you don't have a mic, you're on the wonderful PC, please put your questions at the top in our pinned tweet. If you don't already know, we're from the 100 Devs. We're a wonderful dev agency teaching HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, backend, and all the skills it takes to get a job in tech. And if you don't already know you need more, feel free to go under my bio, click on my account, and see right on my pinned links what it's all about. And I repeat, for the free. All right. So, that being said, if you're right now typing away your question, realize that there is a trick to getting a job in tech. That hiring manager has 300 applications that they have to fill out, and all they want to do is get somebody in the role. So guess what they do? They look in their DMs, and then guess what they see? They see Jeremy with his hand up saying, guess what? I have a question. I have some value. I need to be fast tracked above these 300 people. And the hiring manager is like, yes, let me see that message right now. And guess what? Jeremy gets the job. Why wasn't it you? Is it because you're posting at the top instead of grabbing the mic? Is it because you're in their DMs but you're not actually engaging with them? I don't know. It could be all of the above. You could get the answer to that question. That could have been you, but unfortunately it's not. It is Jeremy. So go ahead, Jeremy. You're about to get all of this value. It's your time to shine. Go ahead.
Hello, guys. Well, Sean, I actually don't have a question. I just actually want to share something and like second something that you mentioned before about this leading into the recruiters' DMs because like I cannot express enough how efficient it is. And I do want to say a story about it. And it's like for my current job right now, I actually applied for let's say a pretty big company in the US. It's Rivian. I applied, of course, as a contractor from Turing. That is another company. But the gist is that I applied for this company, Rivian. If you haven't heard of it, it's an electric car company. And I know for a fact that a lot of like like Rivian receives a lot of applicants, developers that really want to work there. So I mean, I wanted to stand out on that, and I wanted to actually also like fast track my positioning on that. So I literally just looked on LinkedIn for a recruiter, and I remember I found one. So like literally, I just like typed in the LinkedIn search bar for my company and then recruiter. And if you do that for the job that you're applying right now, I'm pretty sure you will find like the same results. And I found this guy that I actually DM'd, and like off his DM, like he literally replied in less than 5 minutes. I just told him that I just sent like an application to his company and that if he could give me a coffee chat or something like a small talk with me so I can like learn more about the process to be able to get it moving faster, I really appreciate it. And he literally replied within 5 minutes, and I had that conversation with him. And guess what? Like it was just like 15 minutes of conversation, and he just told me that he was actually going to like directly shortlist me to get an interview right away. Like I was not going to be checked on my CV that I sent or the application that I sent. He just literally shortlisted me to get the interview right away. And in fact, the best part of the story is that I went to the interview and I cracked that interview. Like I did really good on it, and I actually got the job. That is the job that I have right now. Now I have been there for about 5 months, and I mean, I just came here to tell the story because, like, I cannot stress enough how important it is that you actually do the networking and try to DM the recruiter or whoever you might be working on in the team that you are applying. Like if you can get your name named in that team or in the team of recruiters that are going to hire you, like you have I don't know how many steps that you just jumped on that. So definitely I just wanted to come say that here. If you're applying for a job, try to get some friend inside the company, and I'm pretty sure that will help you a lot. Thank you, Sean, for doing this. I actually love it.
Boom, straight from Jeremy's mouth. A wonderful person who has a job in tech. All he had to do was jump in that hiring manager's DMs and boom. One job, please. That being said, if you're right now putting your question at the top, please do that. But as you know, that is like applying to a job. Maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't, but guess what? That could be you getting this value, but unfortunately, it's that man, Alex. He's about to get his question answered, and that could have been you. That really could have been you. We could be on your question right now, but you didn't grab the mic. All right, that man, Alex, it's your time to shine. Try and keep the questions short, 30 to 60 seconds. All right, go ahead, create some value.
Hey, yes. First of all, how's it going, Sean? And second of all, so I am currently at the University of Alabama in cybersecurity. Um, Obviously, everybody in here that's looking to get a job in tech, first of all, obviously knows the acronym now known as FANG: Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, I believe, and Google. Um, so what I want to say is um, not even just pertaining to tech. There's also a lot of jobs that also give you a lot of money with no degree. Jeremy, once again, I'm sorry, I was stalking your profile and I saw that you were making 90K with no degree. First of all, congrats to you. I'm making a little less more than you. I don't now. I want to let you know. Yes, I'm getting a degree in cybersecurity, but as of right now, I am working the railroad. I don't do anything tech related besides just do like little coding on the side. But I want to let everybody in here know that it's also depending on where you live. So if you are looking to get a job in tech, you could live in a bigger city than what I live in, or you could be living in a low populated city where it's still going to require, cybersecurity. It's still going to require some type of coding. It's still going to require something with a degree, or it's still going to require basically anything tech related. That probably doesn't make any sense. I'll explain that further. But just remember, it's all also based around the area that you want to work in, about the salary, and it's also based around how you want to work it. How will you apply yourself? How will you make sure to basically put in the best effort to reach the highest possible goal, if that makes any sense?
Love it, love it, love it. Always creating value. All right. That being said, M, do you have a question?
Hi, Sean. Yes, I do. My question's kind of around interviewing. So I've been basically iterating around portfolio projects. And my thinking is that if I have a portfolio project that incorporates um, bits and pieces of React and bits and pieces of algorithms or data structures, which you can see on the GitHub page, and bits and pieces of things like system design, I would come up with a great portfolio project that's actually meaningful in different areas of computer science. But I'm just wondering, is that all necessary? Do I just, create a basic React app and show that I can, be a code monkey basically? Or do I try to expand my sort of horizons and show that I'm T-shaped and capable of much more? Thanks.
I absolutely love it. All right. So before I answer M's question, let me refresh the room. We're on the hunt, getting a job in tech. If you got questions, hopefully we'll get some answers and add some value for it. Right now, M just asked, okay, so I have some projects, but I'm thinking about making some more. What can I do to make sure that these projects are of the most value and like will get those hiring managers' eyes? So what I tell people every day is that it's great to have a project. It's better to have a problem. So what do I mean by that? Lots of people are stuck right now in tutorial hell, just going over tutorial, going over through another tutorial, going through another tutorial. And that's not the way to do it. What you gotta say is, hey, does somebody have a problem? Like maybe I don't know where to find the next anime. Maybe you should make